It is a jam-packed show tonight, Monday night. We have booms incoming. We've got a transfer portal commit incoming. NFL draft is coming on Thursday. What a great night to be a part of the scoop and be a part of the family. Appreciate you guys all jumping on with us. As always, we're very thankful and we're very grateful for you guys. Thank you guys for jumping in. Huge week for Ohio State, really. CJ Stroud right at the top of the draft. Jackson Smith-Njigba, Paris Johnson, maybe DeJuan Jones in the first round. I think he'll be a second rounder, but a lot of really big stuff cracking. Potential commit coming tonight. Potentially Bryce West jumps into the boat. But it is a wild time right now. Spring ball's over. Coaches are hitting the road. They're going after those 25s and those 26 recruits. So a lot of good stuff popping off right now on BuckeyeScoop.com. Bill Green is killing it. Nevada Buck is bringing the Nuggets like always. We broke the Lorenzo Styles Jr. to Ohio State commitment last week before anybody. Everybody else followed our lead. Scoop had it first, like always, like usual. That's why you pay for BuckeyeScoop.com, because you guys want the goods first. So we appreciate you guys. If you could, leave us a like, subscribe to the channel, click the little alert bell if you guys enjoy these live shows, and also shout out where you're from. Even if you do it every day, I love seeing where you guys are watching from. It never gets old to me. Appreciate you guys as always. With that being said, I'm going to bring in my good friend, Nevada Buck. Nevada, how are you tonight?
Boy, busy night, man. We got NHL playoffs, you got NBA playoffs, we got booms incoming. Aaron Rodgers is finally a New York Jet. So,
yep.
Man, there's just a lot going on in the world of sports, and it's exciting evening.
I've got Garrett Wilson in my Dynasty League. I took him in the first round last year at like the 8th pick, which is insane. And so when he gets Aaron Rodgers instead of Matt Wilson or any of those other jamokes, huge ad. I'm really excited for that. Nevada, there's like probably the most smoke I've ever seen around the NFL draft. CJ Stroud, Jackson Smith-Njigba, Paris Johnson. The smoke around CJ Stroud right now, are you buying it? Do you think he really falls out of the top 3? Does he fall and kind of free fall, or does he end up 2 to the Texans? There's a lot of the cognitive tests they said he scored low on. Do you buy that? Is that just a team trying to put out bad information so they maybe can get him or trade up for him? What are your thoughts on the CJ Stroud stuff in the NFL draft currently? Again, I think it's crazy. I think he's going to be a top 2 pick, but what are your thoughts right on that?
I think he's fallen, but it's all relative. It's like, if he falls to 7, is that really a fall? If he falls to 10 or 12 or whatever, it's like, it's one of those things where I look at, we just talked about the aforementioned Aaron Rodgers. He's supposed to go first in overall. He doesn't. Then the next 22 teams don't need a quarterback, and at 24 the Packers take him, and that worked out all right. So I think CJ's going to be fine. He's going to be a multimillionaire, regardless of what happens on the draft night. But I do think there is some validity to the fact that he's fallen. He is moving down the draft board. But do I think it really means anything? No, I just think that he might not be the particular taste that some of these teams are looking for in the quarterback position, and that's okay. There's lots of different paths to success in the NFL, and not every quarterback's made the same. So, so I'd say yes, I think he's fallen, but no, I don't think it really means a whole heck of a lot.
Do you see any similarities between this year and Justin Fields' year 2 years ago when you had really, really high up agents, some of the best agents in the entire world, say that you thought he was going to go 3 to San Francisco when they traded up, and then they end up slipping and picking Trey Lance, the guy that they are trying to deal right now for basically nothing, instead of taking Justin Fields, a guy that I thought Justin Fields should have made this Pro Bowl last year. He broke the NFL rushing record for a quarterback, had the worst offensive skill and worst offensive line in the entire NFL. Do you think that there's any symmetry between what CJ Stroud is going through and what Justin Fields went through, as he had a little bit of a free fall 2 years ago?
Yeah, I think so. And, again, we've seen how, these things tend to work themselves out. Justin fell to a situation that was perfect for him. Now, do I think the 49ers would have been perfect for him? Yeah, I think that would have been perfect as well.
Oh, my God.
The 49ers wouldn't have had to give up 3 first-round picks to get him. But, no, I think these things have a tendency, to work themselves out in the end. But, CJ has just got to be, he's just got to, accept whatever happens on Thursday night and just kind of embrace the good, because there's always a blessing in any of this type of despair. And maybe it means he falls to a better team and a better situation for him. And that's never a bad thing.
I totally agree. I think that the worst team that you could go to this year if you're a quarterback is the Texans at 2. Defensive head coach, no skill whatsoever. Larry Mattelson's a left tackle that they could trade, move on from. But I think Carolina's a good spot at 1 with Frank Wright, their quarterback coach, or excuse me, the former quarterback, who I think does a really good job developing quarterbacks, being the head coach. I think that, if you're CJ, you want to go to an offensive head coach. You don't want to go to a defensive head coach like D'Amico Ryans, who is now the head coach for the Houston Texans. He's the DC for the 49ers last year. I think you want optimal offensive weapons, better O-line. So, if you're CJ, you can slide down the board a little bit and go to a team. There's a rumor Peter King put out about the Tennessee Titans liking him. Like, Tennessee would be amazing because you have good O-line, Derrick Henry, the first round pick receiver last year. You got some good keys to that team right there. And I think it alleviates you a little bit if you could hand it off to a superstar running back like Derrick Henry. But it's gonna be fascinating. Nevada, who do you think is the second Buckeye drafted? I mean, it looks like it's Jackson Smith and Jigba or Paris Johnson. Do you have a preference? Who do you believe will go second overall on Thursday night?
Well, I mean, who do I think is going to go second overall in the draft, or who do I think is going to go second?
No, the second Buckeye. Excuse me, I got to phrase that a little bit better.
Yeah, no, I mean that's tough. I think it'll be Jackson Smith and Jigba. I think Paris is going to go really high. I mean, guys like Paris just don't. He was like sculpted out of clay from Mount Olympus or whatever it is, and you put all those abundant physical gifts and everything, and he's a smart kid. I mean, he's a really smart kid, and super cerebral, great teammate, great family, great upbringing. Everything about him just screams, perennial all pro, Pro Bowl type of player, franchise type of foundational piece. So I think he goes high. And again, Jackson Smith and Jigba, do I hope he's around at 13 and the Packers grab him? Yeah, that as a Packer fan, that would be great. I hope he's there. Do I think he'll go that far? I don't know. He might. You might. So I'm going to go Jackson Smith and Jigba as the second pick, and then DeJuan going third. And I like you. I think I've got DeJuan in the second round, but I think he'll be a good second round pick for somebody as well.
Now I know people that don't know, Nevada Buck is a diehard Packers fan, diehard Aaron Rodgers fan. He's much lamented during Aaron Rodgers' illustrious, 18 or so year career since he was drafted in 2005. Never took a skill position guy in the first round. Never took a superstar receiver in the first round. Nevada, would it be the most Packers things ever to take the number 1 receiver in Jackson Smith and Jigba at 13 for Jordan Love of all people?
Well, yeah. I mean, they're all these Packer staff is all in on the fact that Jordan Love is the next big thing, and so they've got to surround him with talent. So it'll be a very Packer thing that they're going to do. They're going to draft Jackson Smith and Jigba for the first time in whatever number of years they drafted a first round wide receiver. Would never do it during Rodgers' time. Do it this time. And like I said, that's a great spot for Jackson because you put him out there with Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson and Jackson Smith and Jigba. You've got a pretty good receiving core there. Now, having said that, Aaron Rodgers has got a pretty good receiving core with a foundation, with Garrett Wilson and Alan Lazard. That's right. Just those two guys alone are probably better than any pair of guys that he had in Green Bay. So, I think like I said, it's a good situation. I love Aaron Rodgers. I'm glad he's going to a chance that has a chance to win the Super Bowl and go do his thing. And the Packers get a chance to rebuild with some Buckeyes. So win-win-win situation.
Sorry, I was queued up Bryce West's highlight tape. He's the guy that you're projecting potentially could be a boom tonight. And I have no idea why there was music on that, but I turned it down. But do you think that outside of Devontae Adams, is Garrett Wilson the best receiver that Aaron Rodgers has ever thrown to?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I mean, certainly, his statistical career, he's only got 1 year in the books, but, when it's all said and done, he's going to be right there. I mean, obviously, I thought Garrett, had an argument for the most talented wide receiver to ever play at Ohio State. And, and that's saying something, but, and again, there's been some great wide receivers come through us. So no disrespect to any of the guys, that came before him or after him, but Garrett was special, man. He was special. And I'm like you said, he's probably the happiest man in the NFL right now. He doesn't have to play for Zach Wilson anymore. He gets Aaron Rodgers to throw it to. So the happy Buckeyes all around.
Is it amazing to you the fact that we've had this incredible run of skill position players from Justin Fields to Dwayne Haskins to CJ Stroud, you got Garrett Wilson, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Marvin Harrison, even Trey Henderson, you go into the running backs, and even Ezekiel Elliott. We've never won a major award at the skill spots over the last 15 years. Is that crazy to you?
It's not crazy. It's just it's none of that stuff happens by accident. Ohio State's not very good at promoting. They used to be really good at it. They used to have an SID that was just spectacular at doing those things, and now they've got a guy that's not very good at it, and the Ohio State guys pay the price for it because we don't promote them well. We're not creative in terms of the way that we're promoting our kids, and so you don't win awards. So but it's not by accident. It's not some cosmic accident that we're not all of a sudden we stopped winning the awards. They put a guy in the position that doesn't know what he's doing, and that's what happens.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, I mean, Jalen Hyatt might not be a first round pick when the Bolitnikoff over Marvin. If Marvin somehow could enter this draft as a second year sophomore, probably be a top 5 pick this year, and he didn't win the big award. Again, CJ Stroud probably is the guy that could have won the Davey O'Brien last year, didn't get it. It's kind of some spectacular failures that are stacked up on top of each other when you see guys like Garrett Wilson's the NFL Rookie of the Year, wasn't a Bolitnikoff finalist. I think that Ezekiel Elliott, never was a Doak Walker finalist. I think that there's a really poor job of promoting. I think we have a very poor staff that does that, and it's kind of amazing that we've had guys. I mean, they're not just like good players. These guys are like top 10 type picks. And then when they get to the NFL, they're just outstanding performers like Ezekiel Elliott, like Garrett Wilson. They're guys that are, if they don't win the Rookie of the Year, they're the runner up for the Rookie of the Year. And it's kind of stunning how this has all worked out. So we're going to pop on a little bit of Bryce West right now. We think that he's going to pop tonight. If he does not pop tonight, we apologize, but he's the guy that's the big rumor. Two big guys. So Nevada, a 5-star, a Glenville kid, a corner. Probably the first 5-star we've had at Glenville since Ted Ginn, and then Dante Whitner, back-to-back years. Your thoughts on Bryce West? Again, if he doesn't pop tonight, I think he will pop soon, but your thoughts on him?
I mean, just superstar player, superstar kid. I wouldn't say single-handedly, but a big part of the Glenville resurgence and leading Glenville to their first state championship under Ted Ginn Sr. So this guy can do it all. Could play offense, could play defense, could play multiple positions. Like I said, for me, for all the great Glenville kids and including Dante Whitner and some of the great kids that we've had come through there, this is I'm the second most excited about him after Ted Ginn. That's how excited I am about this kid. Yeah, I mean, Teddy was obviously, he was super otherworldly, and the hype train was on him big time even before he set foot on campus. But man, I like Bryce West a lot, and I think he's going to be spectacular at Ohio State, and I do believe the commitment is imminent. It's just, as we always say, timing these things is always dicey. So you never want to guess on something like that because inevitably you'll be wrong. But ultimately, the bottom line is it's going to be a Buckeye. It's going to be a great Buckeye.
Yeah, and I love watching this film. This is my favorite clip of his entire highlight tape because he's a hammer in the running game. He's not scared. Knocks the kid off his feet, knocks him backwards with a lot of authority. Reminds me of Dante. I mean, like I said, I played with Dante Whitner. He's in my recruiting class. And, the corners that aren't scared and they're not softies and they're not scared to get their nails dirty. Like, those are the kind of guys you want, in your back end. And Bryce West is, he's probably the best corner in the nation this year. Again, he gets the ball. He's ready to go do something with it, ready to go put it in the end zone. And guys like this, you can't have enough corners. Again, we're going to get into some Lorenzo Styles Jr. film after this, but, in modern college football, the way that teams are in 3 and 4 wide receivers, so prolifically, you have to have guys that can cover. You have to have guys that are physical because, when a team goes out with 3-4 wide receivers, your slot guy better be physical. You better have a guy that's ready to go, put the nail in the coffin when they try to run, the sweep out to the wide side of the field. And that's something that I think that, Lorenzo Styles Jr.'s, younger brother, Sonny, if you put him in that nickel spot, man, they try to run out there. Like Sonny's going to tattoo you. He's going to lay the wood to you, and that's what I think that we lacked last year when we had Tanner McAllister down at that nickel spot. He didn't have the physicality you needed versus some of the bigger teams, and I think that Sonny, you put him down to that nickel spot. I mean, teams are going to think twice about running out to him because he's like a Darren Lee, he's like a Sam linebacker. He can be out there, lay the wood to guys, and I think it just with his athleticism, he's got Darren type athleticism. Darren ran a 4.3 at the combine. You get that guy that can run. He's a bigger guy. He's a lengthy guy. Can come off the edge and blitz. It changes the whole, dynamic of the defense when you have guys that are not just big and athletic, but they're guys that are physical and they're tough. And, the third play of that Wisconsin game is etched in my memory forever. They had Sonny Styles, a 17-year-old, out on the edge. They bring a fullback right at the edge, right on an off-tackle play. Sonny kills the guy, puts him on his back, throws him on the ground, and not scared at all. And that was a Wisconsin fullback play, a fifth-year senior guy, big tough guy, and Sonny killed him. So I knew that kid wasn't scared. Should have played more last year, and hopefully they find a good role for him this year. But yeah, I think Bryce, he's the guy that's basically in. He's equal signed, but we just got to wait for the timing of it all. I don't know if they're going to do any of the camp tour stuff or the Glenville guys stay uncommitted. And then they kind of get the coaches more excited when they show up to their campus because they got the lesser heralded guys from Glenville kind of on their coattails. But, when this kid commits, it'll be a cause for celebration. Because like I said, you see the ability, you see the toughness. The size is fantastic for a cornerback. So, really excited about this kid. Nevada, as we keep rolling through these guys, do you think that there's ever going to be a chance where we're going to get a run like we did with Glenville in the mid-2000s where we had Dante, Ted, Troy Smith, first rounder, not just first rounder, 2 top 10 picks and a Heisman guy? Could that ever happen again with a public school like Glenville?
I think it is. I think it's happening right now. And I think with the whole football academy kind of concept that Ted Ginn Sr. is kind of embracing. No, I think it absolutely could happen. And, when you talk to the people around the program, they're really excited about some of the young kids they've got and some of the young kids they've got coming up. So, no, I think we could expect to lead a little Glenville resurgence. It started last year, like I said, with the state championship. And I think it's going to continue on at least for the next 3, 4, 5 years. You're going to have some really good talent coming through there. And as you said, they all go to Ohio State because that's kind of the way that it is, and that's a very positive thing for the Buckeyes.
Yeah, I totally agree. So we're gonna get into some Lorenzo Styles Jr. tape. Nevada signed it that he will be a Buckeye soon. Sonny Styles obviously is a superstar, phenom, 5-star nickelback, linebacker, strong safety, whatever you want to make him out to be. I think eventually he'll be a will linebacker in his last year, next year when he's a 3-and-out guy for Ohio State. But, Lorenzo Styles Jr., again, he's a legacy. Obviously, his father had a very nice career at Ohio State. Then he had a great career in the NFL where he played for the greatest show on turf, the St. Louis Rams that won the Super Bowl with Orlando Pace and Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt, Kurt Warner. So great family, Pickerington family. Lorenzo Styles Jr. was a kid that was at Notre Dame, caught a long pass against us early, led the team in receiving last year at the Horseshoe. Obviously, this year we go out to Notre Dame. Hopefully, he'll be on our bus instead of their bus. But Nevada, what are we getting out of, Lorenzo Styles Jr.? Obviously, he was a 4-star athlete. He wanted to be a receiver. Brian Hartline, passed on him. He wanted him to be a corner. Now he's switching to corner. What do we get out of Lorenzo Styles Jr. as I get this tape rolling?
Well, I mean, you're getting a physical corner you can cover, and you can run with the best wide receivers out there on the field. As you said, he wanted to play wide receiver in college, and if he had been willing to come as a cornerback, Ohio State would have taken him. So this would not have taken this kind of circuitous route through South Bend, Indiana. But now he's made the position change. He's decided in his mind that his future is as a cornerback, and now he's coming back to Ohio State. So again, I think it's great because I've been kind of monitoring kind of the reaction from the fans, and it's been kind of a muted, like, I'm not sure, whatever. This is a good get. This is a good get. I'm not saying he's going to step right in and start over Davison or do this or do that, but this is a guy who can contribute and certainly at a position like cornerback. you mentioned, you can never have enough good cornerbacks, and I think he's going to be a really good one. I don't think he's just going to be good. I think he's going to be a person who could really contribute and really make a difference out there in the field. So I'm excited about him.
I totally am too. I think that, him coming home, it doesn't hurt the relationship with Sonny. Obviously, Sonny is kind of the crown jewel, the 5-star superstar phenom. Left school a year early in high school, so he's a 17-year-old last year playing in the Big Ten. Played significant time. I thought he should have played more, frankly. But when you get Lowe Jr. here, obviously the dad is a Pickerington guy, local guy, great family. I don't think it hurts Sonny when you've got Big Brother here with him. And I think he's got a real opportunity to be an impact guy at corner. It might take him a year to switch, learn the positions, but that's one of those things we're gonna have to just see. Are they receptive to that? Are they ready to go? Get it in, get out. It's gonna be one of those things where, do you want to put him out there when he's maybe not ready to play corner? His technique's not quite as refined, but explosive athlete, really good return guy. Like I said, he had a really long catch against us really at the beginning of the Notre Dame game. But things went sideways out there, and I think that him wanting to play corner is a prudent move. If you're a kid like him or a Garyon Conley, and Garyon was a receiver, they said, hey, you should play corner at Ohio State. He ends up playing corner, ends up being a first-round pick millionaire. If everything's equal, not that my kid will ever be like a cornerback body type, but I'm just saying, like, if everything's equal, he's playing corner because corner is a lot more lucrative than wide receiver. There's fewer people that can play it. If you can get really good at corner, man, it's like ask Chris Gamble, ask some of these guys that were kind of 50-50 guys that ended up picking corner. You can make a great living doing it. I think that, we can't get enough corners right now. Our corner play was very suspect last year. It was probably about a D- on the A to F scale. But I think those guys are turning it around. I think Davison Igbinosun is a guy that could drag us up to a B just by himself, just because of his length and his competitiveness. And again, like, you need a guy like that who's trying to be the number one corner. Those guys, they sharpen their pencils, man. I mean, all of a sudden Denzel Burke's playing better, Jordan Hancock's playing better. They don't lose their spots to transfer from Jersey by way of Ole Miss. But I like Lowe Jr. joining. It'll be nice because he played a little bit of corner at Pickerington. But it'll be interesting to see what he can do as he develops. He's a superior athlete. And again, athleticism is 90% of the game. Your technique's about 10% of the game. But if he can run and you have good hips, then you can play corner. But you just got to get the technique down. And again, there's not going to be a better place on earth to learn corner than from Tim Moulton, Perry Eliano, and then you're going against Marvin Emeka, Brandon Ennis, Carnell Tate. Like, you've got monsters out there every day. JJ Smith. There's going to be some big guys out there, so you better be ready to rock every day. But I like his tape. Again, I think that his dad is a great guy, a guy that really knows his stuff and knows how to keep the main thing. And I don't think there's any ceiling onto what the two Styles brothers can do, because like there's a real opportunity for these guys to play together, kind of a last rocks. You're probably not going to get to do that in the NFL. It's easier on the parents, obviously, but you've seen what Ohio State has done with corners over the last 10 years and how many have gone in the first round. And why not come to Ohio State and learn the cornerback position from some of the best? Like, Perry Eliano coached Sauce Gardner and Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant won the Thor. Sauce went third or fourth overall, and he ended up being the rookie of the year and probably could have gone first overall after that rookie year he had. So why not learn from these guys and perfect your craft and get the most enhanced opportunity you can for the NFL draft? So Nevada, as we talk about Lowe Styles Jr., I know it's tough sometimes on legacies, but do you think that this does anything to enhance Sonny's disposition as he's going into year two? Didn't play a lot as a freshman. Obviously, he graduated from high school a year early. But do you think that it gives Sonny a little bit of a shot in the arm?
Well, I think it does, but it's clearly not. That's not the reason you do this at your Ohio State. I mean, this guy, like I said, he might have been. I heard somebody describe it to me best as this: they're like, he was probably a 3-star talent at wide receiver, but he's definitely a 4-star plus talent at cornerback. And you talk about how long it takes guys to learn the cornerback position or whatever. I mean, think back on Chris Gamble. Chris Gamble switched on Tuesday and then played on Saturday. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if you've got athleticism, and this guy's I mean, he started at wide receiver at Notre Dame. Now I know we don't have a lot of respect for Notre Dame, and they're awful, and we don't like Rudy and all that stuff. But I mean, he started at Notre Dame at wide receiver. So he understands the concepts of what wide receivers are trying to do against cornerbacks. And I've always thought that those guys that had that advantage of playing wide receiver would have a big advantage playing cornerback because you've seen it from the other side. And when you combine that with great athleticism like Lorenzo's got, I think, I think he can be an impact player. And like you said, if on top of that, it helps out, Sonny's disposition, or, the parents don't have to split up. They can go to each of the games and everybody's happy in the Styles thing. It's just a win-win-win all the way around. So, like I said, I'm way more excited about this one than most people are. And, I really think that we have something here, and I think this is a good one.
Yeah, I agree. I'm a lot more excited about it just because, it's a great family. Sonny's a great kid. Mom and dad are great people, and, and they do things the right way. They're tough on their kids. They want their kids to excel and be great. And I don't think there's any downside when you've got, parents that get to come to the same game, root for the same team. It's not like when you go out to South Bend, you're rooting for, one parent's rooting for Notre Dame, the other parent's rooting for Ohio State. You get to all be unified now. But again, I think he's, even if he's not a Styles or whatever, just the athleticism, the burst, the speed, the willingness to play corner, I'm excited about all of it. I think it's going to be a huge add for the program. Like I said, I'm not just a guy who's into taking guys because of their last names, because of their legacies or whatever. I want guys that can make an impact. And again, you can't have enough corners. I'll say that a million times. Can't have enough corners. Corners are, if there's a position where, if in doubt, you can take another 4 or 5 star corner, figure it out. Get everything lined up, get them dialed in. Because, in this game with 3 and 4 wide receivers being played 80 to 90% of the time, you need guys that can cover. Guys get hurt, guys pull hamstrings. So you cannot have enough cover corners in modern college football, even the modern NFL game. So super excited about them. Again, this is a very long highlight tape. This is about a 10-minute highlight tape. Most of these are about 5 minutes. So again, you see the explosion. Again, the reason we put this on, he's not playing corner, but you see the movement skills, you see the burst, explosion, change the direction, the toughness. So, you want to see those attributes. How do they translate to playing corner as he gets coached up? Again, he, mostly, with Pickerington, he's playing slot receiver. He's playing as the X receiver. Here he is actually at corner. So you see the jam, you see him turn around, you see him find the ball, you see him almost make the play. If he makes that play, it's probably the first play on the highlight instead of one of the last ones. But, he's got the ability to do it. He's jamming guys. Again, I think that's something that our defensive backs lacked last year is we were not physical enough with wide receivers. Too many free releases, too little disruption. Again, they're spot dropping, not looking at the corner, or not looking at the quarterback, excuse me. I think that we could do a lot better job of disrupting routes, disrupting timing in the passing game. That's something that was a big bugaboo against Georgia, and something that a kid like Lorenzo Styles could bring to this, because that's how he's been taught. In college, you can really get after these guys a lot more than you can in the NFL. NFL is a 5-yard rule. College, you can bang these guys all the way downfield, and I think something we'll get better at. But Nevada, as we wrap this thing up,
well, hold on. I got a question for you now. So,
sure.
Based upon this Ohio State Notre Dame thing, if your sons, one went to Ohio State and one went to Notre Dame, would you wear like the half jersey thing, kind of like Brady Quinn's sister did during
Laura
the bowl?
Quinn?
Like Laura Quinn, would you do that? Would you wear the thing? Would that be too effeminate for you? Would you choose the Buckeyes thing, or which?
Oh, it would absolutely be too effeminate for me. I mean, my kid would never be allowed to talk to me again if he went to Notre Dame. So my kid could go to about any. The only 2 schools that I wouldn't talk to him is if he went to Michigan or Notre Dame. But again, that's my opinion. But if they went to the Miami Hurricanes, the Florida Gators, the Georgia Bulldogs, and one went to Ohio State, I'd sit with the Ohio State fans for half the game, Georgia for half the whatever. But ideally for Lorenzo Styles and his wife, this is the dream scenario. You just get through for Ohio State. You just get to go to one game. You're not splitting off and saying, okay, Dad, you go to Notre Dame this weekend, I'll go to the Horseshoe, and then vice versa. I just think that when you've got 2 sons that are talented enough to play at Ohio State, the dream scenario is that they both play at Ohio State, and then you don't have to worry about any of that. It's kind of like, Nicky and Joey didn't overlap with the Bosa's, but Joey, if he would have stayed for his senior year, he would have been able to play with Nicky for his freshman year. And, that would have been a dream. But, Joey's off to the NFL playing for the San Diego Chargers his first year, and Nikki was a freshman. So I don't know. I don't think I'd ever do a double jersey. I'm not a big jersey guy. I probably
No, I
just
know
put my
you wear a helmet during the game. So would you switch helmets during the game, like maybe at halftime or something like that?
I wear my black Buckeye Scoop helmet, so everybody knows that I'm with BuckeyeScoop.com, and come show up to the best in town, the best in the world, and that's what I do. Like, I mean, when I go to Ohio State games, I rep Buckeye Scoop. I have Buckeye Scoop gear on, Buckeye Scoop everything. So people know where I stand at, and people like it. They like seeing us represent the brand because, again, we're killing the game, and people, they get tired of it. But I'm like, guys, everybody else reads our site to get their information, so you might as well just come here and get it first like they do. But that's my opinion. But I mean, I'm telling you, we broke the Lorenzo Styles Jr. deal. Everybody else had it after us, and that's kind of the pattern that they've been in for 3 years now since we started our site. So again, it's fun. I rep Buckeye Scoop more than any other brand, so it's fun to do. And again, our podcasts speak volumes, our subscribers speak volumes. So, if my kid was playing at Notre Dame and I had a kid playing at Ohio State, I'd be in Buckeye Scoop gear, man, because that's what I rock. So, but Nevada, as we wrap this thing up, any final thoughts so we can go watch the end of the Lightning Maple Leafs game?
No, I just think we definitely are on commitment watch, and we'll our next podcast we can talk about another dumb article that was out there talking about why don't we have more out of state tackles? Like, let's talk about that. We'll do it
out of state or in state, in state or out of state.
No, in-state tackles don't count. So you see, like this is the selectivity of this thing. It's like the in-state tackles don't count, and then the out-of-state great players that aren't tackles don't count. It's only out-of-state tackles that count. You see, so somebody sent me that article, and I'm like, what a stupid article. This is just so dumb. But we'll save that for another day. So Nevada can rant about the stupidity that is in the OSU media circle. It's really a dumb group, man. It's just so dumb. But
they get fed this crap from inside the Woody Hayes, and it's like some of the stuff I read it, I'm just like, so for the last 8 years we haven't signed the top 3 offensive linemen in Ohio, but we signed Nick Petit-Frere and DeJuan Jones and Luke Whippler. And, outside of Paris Johnson, I mean, most of our Donnie Jackson, 5-star, Nick Petit, 5-star from Tampa. We get these kids from all over the country that are superstars in the offensive line. But for some reason, there are people that are dumb enough. Because, again, the people that cover the team, very malleable. They're not very smart. They don't really understand recruiting. They don't really understand football. So, when you listen to what they say, they're very easy to manage when you've got people that are malicious inside the program. And I sit there and I watch this and I'm like, so if we get Donnie Jackson, who's from Texas, 5-star tackle guard combo, you get Nick Petit-Frere, tackle from Tampa, you get Luke Whippler, you're probably a top 3 round guy from Jersey. You get DeJuan, who's a project guy from Indiana. Like, you don't really need to be upset about anything, because again, with the talent,
Enoch from Hawaii and Josh Pryor from Indiana,
yeah,
and Carson Hinsman from Wisconsin. Yeah, you're just going Matt Jones from New York. You're just kind of going down and down the line.
I mean, impossibly stupid doesn't even describe it correctly. But again, that's where we're at nowadays. Even Harry Miller, God bless him, 5-star from Georgia. Great kid. So again, there's 5-star, 5-star, 5-star. The only 5-star we've got from Ohio in the last 10 years is Paris. So, if you only want to fish for 5-stars in Ohio, you'll see one about every 5 to 6 years on the O-line. But I digress. Again, I'm not trying to get on my soapbox, but guys, like, Brian Hartline goes against Emeka and some of these 5-stars from Texas, and he goes against Marvin from Philly. Nobody cares that they're not from Ohio. So again, that's a stupid take. It's a dumb take. It's a lazy take. So come to BuckeyeScoop.com so we can give you guys the fresh take and the good take so you guys can sound way more intelligent than the people that read these other sites that are just terrible what they do. But anyways, appreciate you guys as always. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed the breakdown of Bryce West and Lorenzo Styles Jr., 2 superstar cornerbacks, 2 guys I think they're going to do a great job going forward for the Buckeyes. Again, I think that Low Styles Jr. is a guy that's going to be, a great depth piece initially, but he could be a starter in year 2, year 3. So, again, you get these legacies that are really good athletes and can play here. Take all of them because they get what it means to be a Buckeye. They get what it means to beat Michigan. And there's no downside. So, but if you guys enjoyed this content, again, click that like button, click subscribe, click the alert bell. And again, we appreciate you guys so much. We love kicking it with you guys. You guys bring the greatest questions in the world. And shout out where you're from. Even if you did it yesterday or last week or last month, keep shout out where you're from in the comments. I love reading that. It's so awesome to see where you guys are watching from. So shout out you guys that are in Japan, in South America, you guys that are in Naples, Florida, you guys are in Canton, Ohio, you guys are in Los Angeles. Like, again, I love reading where you guys are from. Like I said, we got Seattle, we got, guys from everywhere. So we appreciate you guys and gals for watching our content. And we love doing it for you guys and for you guys. So if you guys enjoy this, BuckeyeScoop.com needs to be in your home. That's where we're going to be at all night tonight. NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, and we'll have a big NFL draft party on BuckeyeScoop.com. Love for you to join the crew, join the family. Again, I can't speak highly enough about the type of crowd we have, how well moderated it is, how much fun we have on there. So we appreciate you guys. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. So thank you so much, Buckeye Nation, and thank you, Scoop family. Bang that like button on the way out. Appreciate you guys. I'll talk to you guys soon. Go Bucks.